All right, guys, we are just trying to get some stuff together here. Hold on a second. We'll go see what we got going here. There we go. We should be up and running. Hello there. Um, all right. So, welcome, everybody. We're going to have some people starting to sign in. I'm seeing Casey Allen. You are our first one to join us. And today is actually going to be there you are. Chris Adams is here. He is our master tech for the day. And, for life. Now he's going to be watching what we're doing in the background. And hopefully if he's able to take care of some of the comments. Again, this is going to be a really interesting module for us today because we are simply going to be going over sort of like destructing OBS so that we can restructure it for you guys so you can see a little bit of the practical side of what we're doing and some of the components of what we use and what we do and don't do and what your possibilities are. We will be getting started at 3 o'clock. So if you guys want to just come in and just chit chat, Chris says the day works for him. Sorry, it's life. But we're going to be doing a lot of different things that, like, it would be as if I'm sitting at my computer and adding and subtracting things just to let you know how to put together some of this OBS stuff and how it's going to look for you, how simple it is to do, some of the little snags that you might hit. And in an upcoming module, we will be taking you down the road of starting to download and connecting your devices to your computer and stuff like that. So today is just basically, again, a breakdown of what we use on OBS. Everything that you're seeing right now is me using OBS. And so if you see me wandering, it's because I'm rearranging my screen to make it a little bit easier for me to talk with you guys as we are doing this, because right now I'm going to be juggling through using my iPhone, using PowerPoint and OBS, and just being able to try and chit chat with you guys about what we're doing. We have about 6 minutes. If you guys want to let me know where you are from, a little bit your role in ministry, that would be awesome. I would love to hear that sort of stuff. And just so we know where we're connecting and who we're connecting with and what your ideas are, what your goals are in terms of using OBS. And again, as people are popping on, I'll keep repeating this. We will be starting at 3 o'clock. So just right now, it's general chit chat. If you're just coming in, you have not missed any important information. We will be doing that again. Today is just an overview of OBS for those who want to know what it is. So I'm seeing some people come in. I see Belinda. Welcome back, Belinda. Belinda, I think you've been on all of our modules live, so welcome back. I see a bunch of different names coming in. Please, if you're signing in, let me know where you're from. Maybe this would be helpful. Let me know where you're from and your role at your church or ministry. Or if you're just interested in finding out what we're doing, some people might just, hey, I want to know what this OBS stuff is and how you're using it for whatever. For us, we use it for our services at church when we're doing Facebook Live. And we also use it for our game nights. I use it for bedtime devotions with Pastor Steve. We use it for a lot of different things. Sometimes if I'm even practicing my guitar, I'll bring my guitar out and practice, and some people will do a little bit like a impromptu kind of sing along just so I can get some practice in, and some people like to just chit chat in this day and age. So we're seeing some people. Awesome. We're seeing Missouri is in, Monroe, Louisiana is in. A children's director, children's minister. We have Missouri is in, and I'm in New Jersey. And just so you know, I'm in New Jersey. I'm just a few minutes outside of the Philadelphia area. Pastor Dave is from Burlington, North Carolina. Chris Adams is from Mars. No, he's actually from New Jersey. He lives a few towns away from me. So, Belinda's coming in, children's pastor at our church, and want to learn how to do what you've been doing for our games and kids online. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how we do our lessons and how we do our games online using OBS. So we'll be showing some practical stuff today. We're not getting into anything technical, nothing technical. Everything that you're going to be seeing is me just breaking down what we use here and just the various things that you can do with this. And I'm just going to take you step by step on that. Again, like what I'm saying is we're going to tear OBS down just so you guys can bring it back up and start using it for your church. So I'm seeing some more people coming in. They are just joining in, so that is great. If you're looking at this and you're thinking, hey, somebody else should be seeing this, we will be leaving this posted for you guys, and you can easily review it. You can show, hey, this guy showed us how to do this, and then show it to your tech guy. Your tech guy might be interested in learning how to do this himself. Chris Adams, who is our tech guy for MMM 101 group, he was the one who showed me how to use it, and I just love dancing around with it now. So we have about 2 minutes until we get started. For those of you who are just joining in, we would like for you to tell us where you are from and what your role is in terms of wanting to use OBS, whether it's a children's minister or what your role is, or if you're just somebody who wants to learn how to use OBS. Again, everything that we do in this group is going to be ministry oriented, where we want you guys to have this as a tool in your toolbox for ministry. So hope you understand that. And my tech guy will be happy I'm not asking him to do stuff. Yes, if you can learn how to do this yourself, then you won't be asking your tech guy how to do this. And maybe you might be impressing your tech guy. Go, listen, hey, you're so far behind, tech guy. Never insult the tech guy. Right, Chris? Right, Chris? We never want to insult the tech guy. So we have about another minute before we get started, and I'm just looking forward to it. So, matter of fact, before we get started, I want to do this. All right. Hey, everybody. It is great to have you joining us today. Hopefully, you are excited, just as excited as I am, to show you guys how to use OBS as you are to use it. And today, I want to at least give you your first look at OBS and just how you would be able to use this for your ministry. And it's important to be able to stream and be able to show things. And with this, with OBS, you're able to stream your images better. Everything that you show will look better, as well as the ability to record things for later. And it's not always just about streaming. Sometimes it's about recording. Well, I just want to welcome you again. My name is Steve Hample. I'm a pastor of family ministries at a Calvary Chapel all the way in New Jersey. So I do send you greetings from the state of New Jersey. And I just want to thank my co-guys, Chris Adams. He is our master tech that's on board with us. And Pastor Dave, who is the guy who came up with all these crazy ideas for us to do these things. And we are going to be going over the system of OBS. So one of the things I want you to do is you're looking at the screen right now, and you're seeing basically a background. Okay, all you're seeing is a background and my image. So if you're able to listen to me, you're seeing me talk. But if I wanted to, for whatever reason, and we're just going to start breaking some stuff down here on this screen, you're seeing, all you are seeing is a background and my picture. This picture is coming from my computer camera. If I was to do this, I'm covering over my computer camera. It's nothing fancy. It is just, if you were to use, FaceTime or Zoom or whatever, it's the same exact camera that you'd be using. I'm not using anything fancy. It's how it's brought into the OBS system. The picture that you're seeing all around me, that is just a JPEG picture in back of me. Both of these things, if I wanted to, is just as simply, I'm going to do a couple things just to keep you on your toes. If I wanted to, I could take my camera away. Now you're seeing nothing but that background picture. And on OBS, I'm going to show you in a couple seconds what I'm doing on my end. I can bring myself back any moment on OBS. Now, what if you're saying, oh man, what about that background? Well, guess what? You don't like the background? Let's make it go away. There we go. Now you're stuck with me. And so I want to bring that. And again, all that simply is the difference between putting a background. And you know what a background is, a JPEG background. It's just putting a background in the back of this OBS program and putting my camera as an image. So we are right now only running two things visually. The other thing that we're doing is my voice. I have on my computer two ways of getting you to hear my voice. And right now you're listening to my voice, and I'm using this microphone right here. And it's going through another module called the Focusrite, and it's helping my voice sound better. I'm able to adjust volumes on it. I'm able to help sync things up a little bit. It's a step beyond what we're doing if you were just to use your computer mic. Matter of fact, let me give you an example of using, this is me using a microphone going through the system, and then this is me using the computer microphone. So right now I am using my camera on my computer and the microphone on my computer. Can you tell the difference between my voice using the computer or my voice using the microphone? So that's something you might want to consider too. That's something, if you want to take it up a notch, you want to be able to hear in a different way. Most of my things, when I was just beginning all of this, was just simply using the computer microphone. There was no problem with it. We were able to hear clearly. But as you can tell, as you move up in just what you're learning, you'll see the big difference. For anybody who's just stopped in, again, this is my microphone that's connected to my computer. And this is the computer microphone. So again, if you want to take that next step up to make your voice sound clear, you will want possibly think about using a microphone for your programs. And again, so right now, all you're looking at is the computer camera, a background image, and you're listening to me talk on my microphone. For you, it's not critical to get a microphone right away. Again, that's a little bit of an investment into a microphone and using a module to get it into your computer. So that's a step that you don't necessarily have to do, but I would recommend it if you're taking it up a notch. Everything that we're doing here for MMM 101 group is we're just trying to help you take things up a little bit to make it more enjoyable for the viewer. So I want to go to a couple images here. The first one I want to show you is, let me see if I can bring these up. I'm going to show you what my screen looks like beneath me. Okay, this is what I'm looking at on my computer. I'm such a handsome person. Now, when I'm looking at my computer, I am seeing an image up at the top. And that image is what I'm seeing on my OBS. Now down beneath, you're going to see, and there's a little bit more, but this is the most critical part for you to know right now, is there's 3 different areas that you can look at. If you look off to the far left, you see something called scenes. Now, keep in mind, there's a variety of scenes that you're seeing a list. I use a lot of different scenes for a lot of different things. When I do my practice for guitar, that's a scene. When I do my bedtime devotions, if we were to look down this list on your screen right now, you see my bedtime devotions main. That means if you look at the top of the picture where you see me talking and you see the image from my bedtime Bible study next to me, that's my main screen. Now understand, and we'll get to that in a second, that is multi-layered as well. Then I have the bedtime devotions countdown. No different than you just saw the countdown that I had for the OBS lecture. I made one for the bedtime devos. So as people are coming in, they're able to watch a video just as a countdown while I'm preparing. I might be talking to a guest speaker going, this is what we're going to talk about today. And the viewer is watching a countdown. It's just something to keep them entertained. It lets them know the program hasn't started. We're about to start something soon, but guess what? It's we still have a countdown. Once the countdown goes, I take my computer cursor and I just go up and I click on Bedtime Devos main, and then you see that picture. It's that simple. I go between, like for today, I'm going to go through multiple of these, but for my bedtime devotions, or if you were to do a lesson, you don't have to do a countdown. You can just start off with this screen and just talk. If you were to have signed in to this module about 10 of 3, you would have seen me just chit-chatting with people just like this. I didn't have to have a countdown, but I wanted to have a countdown for those of you so you knew as you're coming in that the module was going to start soon. And so what happens is I would just go on a Monday night when I do the bedtime devos, I would go between those 2 things. Again, you don't have to. You can just stick with that one main screen. And as we look down, you'll see the different things I see there. You see the camera, and I put iPhone because I spelled it wrong. iPhone and iPad. On that scene, that means it's my computer camera, and I connect my iPhone and my iPad so that you will see the different things on my iPhone and iPad. I'll get to that in a minute. And just we go down, I have another countdown screen. There's a couple different scenes. One of those scenes is for me to do when I do my practice for guitar live for people. That's one of those scenes as you move down. iPhone only. That means, hey, listen, the only thing that I've got going on this one is my what? My iPhone. And so then I have my Sunday School with Sunday School GP, which is Sunday School Gospel Project. If you were to see any of the videos that I do for our Sunday School, I go through using OBS to record everything. And I'll explain why I do that. Can you just do that through something like iMovie or so? Sure you can. But in order for me to do what I like to do, I use OBS to record my stuff. And you'll see why in a second. maybe a couple minutes. Again, we're seeing a couple ones down. I have a spy countdown. If any of you joined in my games on Friday night on my game time, I did a countdown where it was a cartoon countdown of Chris and I fighting against an evil scientist. And it was an animated Bitmoji cartoon. It was a lot of fun. And it's another countdown that gave the viewers about 3 minutes of just some entertainment while I was preparing behind the scenes for what I was doing. And then the other thing is I have another scene set up for game night. If you were to see my game night, you'd see the layout of this screen is a little bit different. So each scene that you set up, you can make for a different thing. If you're only planning on doing a game night, you only make one scene. You don't have to make multiple scenes. Call it a game night. Or if you want to do Sunday School Live, just call it Sunday School Live. You can name it whatever you like. That is that first box. Now what happens is when you select that scene, we move over to the next page, or next box that you're seeing here. I have selected scene 1. And when we look at scene 1, if you're to look at that second box over in scene 1, okay, scene without a number, scene 1, you'll see that I used my Focusrite, which was what I said, my microphone. I have an audio input capture, which means that's my computer microphone, and my camera, which is my computer camera. Underneath that is my iPhone. I connect my iPhone. And then I have the MMM 101 OBS module background, which would be the background that you're seeing here. So I have that as my scene 1. And those are the things that you'll see. If you look at my image right now, you will see those various things going on. Am I using my audio, Focusrite audio? Yes, I am. Am I using my audio input capture, my other computer microphone? No. If you were to look at my screen right now, you would see that my audio input capture, let's see here, my audio input capture, I muted that, so you're not going to see that. Another way of doing that, if you look in that column, you're seeing eyeballs and locks. Eyeballs means that it's live. If you don't see the eyeball lit up, that means it's not happening. If you see the lock means that's not moving anywhere. For instance, I lock that background picture because if I move any of these boxes around, I don't want my background picture to move. I just want that to stay where it's at all times. So I lock it. So I can either mute my audio in the next box, which we'll get to in a second, or I just leave it live, or I can lower the volume, or I can take the eyeball out. So you're seeing that I have the audio, I have the camera, the iPhone, and I have those things. So you see all those things happening on the screen. And in OBS, again, these 3 boxes that you're seeing are all lined up next to each other. Now, next to it, you're going to see where it says Audio Mixer. Audio Mixer is just that. It's an audio mixer. And what you're seeing in here is you will see my audio input capture, which is my computer microphone, remember. My Focusrite, okay, that's my microphone here. And my iPhone. It says iPhone SFH. Those are my initials, just so you know. So what you're seeing there is when I took this picture, I had my computer microphone was live, as well as my Focusrite microphone as live. There's a couple different times, just so you're aware, there's a couple different times that I don't use my Focusrite and I use my computer microphone. One condition is this, is if I am doing an interview with somebody and they call me on their phone, I will use I'll use a separate speaker for my phone, for the phone call, and my voice. And so what'll happen is the speaker and my voice will be picked up by my computer phone, and and we will make them the same level. So that's one of the reasons sometimes that I'll still use my computer microphone. Hopefully you're understanding this. If you're having any questions, I'm hoping that Chris is able to catch up on, answer some of those. So what I want to do now is, again, all this stuff I am doing on OBS. If you look at the screen here, you'll see those boxes and the image up at the top. I'm going to click on the eyeball. If you look at the sources in that picture in the middle, on my end, you're not going to see me do it live, but on my end, I am going to click where it says OBS screen, which is the picture you're looking at. Now, right now, I'm seeing an eyeball, but when I click off the eyeball, watch what happens. The picture disappeared. Eyeball click on, boom, it's there. Eyeball click off, it's not there. So guess what? You're seeing how you can control that. That's just a picture that's going. Now what happens is this. I want to show you something on my phone. All I have to do is look down at my screen, and it's different. You know, again, I see that it says my iPhone is there. My iPhone is there, but the eyeball is not lit up. That means my iPhone is not being shown. I'm going to click on the eyeball right now and watch what happens. You're seeing my phone, right? You see? If I move this back and forth, you're seeing my phone. You're seeing some of the games I play. You are looking at my iPhone through OBS. Again, now I want to explain this to you. How can we do this? And without going into technical details right now, we're going to do that in another upcoming module. If you look at that screen, you are going to see some critical things that I use when I'm using OBS and my phone. If you look across the top, you'll see App Store. You see the Bitmoji. Hey, we discussed Bitmojis before. If you look right next to it, it says NDI Capture. And next to that is, it says NDI HX Capture. And then it says NDI HX Camera. Those two things you can get at your phone or you can get at your App Store, whether it's going to be your phone or iPad. Because when I'm saying iPhone, understand I can use my iPad as well, doing the same exact thing. Instead of seeing my phone, you would see my iPad show up. But each one, you would need to go to the App Store and you would download NDI HX Capture. And what the capture does is it captures, right now, that's what I'm using. So when you're looking at the capture, it's capturing what is on my phone. And so anything that's a screen on my phone, you will see as long as I'm using NDI HX Capture. And that's for the screen. If you look next to it, you're going to see the one that says camera. And for that one, let's see if you guys can figure that one out. It is using your phone camera. So if I wanted to lift up my phone and have it in camera mode, I would do NDI HX Camera, and it would use my camera, and I could use that as a secondary picture. For instance, if I had somebody who was sitting across from me and I wanted to, hold on a second here. I got somebody who just texted me. I just want to make sure what's going on here. If I'm not having a technical difficulty here, I'm hoping not. So hold on a second here. Sorry about this. I had to answer a quick text real quick. So it was from Chris. Okay, so let's get back to this. So if I was to use the picture capture going on, that's what it would wind up coming up on the NDI. Let's see what else we have there. Oh, I see what Chris was trying. Chris is trying to mess with me. Here, let's see, we do this. Watch this. Okay, you guys, this is how we play. This is how Chris and I play. You're seeing my phone, right? Let me do this. Okay. So as you're seeing a bunch of people. You see Chris is at the top. So that's exactly what Chris is trying to do. I was trying to make it appear on your phone. Okay, back to my screen. Thank you, Chris. I wasn't sure what you were trying to get at. You're the one who told me to turn notifications off. So, okay, so back to this, guys. Again, we're having fun, and we're teaching you guys how to do that. Yeah, you can show your text messages during your presentation. Okay, so as we're doing that, if you look at this screen, you'll notice a couple different things. The NDI capture, NDI camera, those are the two things that connect your iPad, your iPhone to OBS. Again, we're going to get to a little bit more into that in detail in a little bit, or in another module, excuse me. But when you look down, you can also see that if I wanted to, I could go to Keynote, open up a Keynote presentation, and you would see it right here. You would see me open up my Keynote, and I could go to a presentation, and I could show my Keynote right here. Same thing if I look over in Books. I'm using an iPhone, so I have Books. And what I could do, matter of fact, what I'll show you, again, this is my phone, and I'm just simply sending it to OBS. If I hit my Books, I'm taking my finger, I'm going to touch my phone, and I'm going to hit Books. And as you see it just changing, and it's going to load up some of the books and presentations that I have. I'm going to go to my library, and if we just get this to work right, let's see if I can get this to go. Come on here, folks. Come on. I get that. And there we go. Let's see if I can get back to this. So if I get this, there we go. Can you find six? That's a game that I play with the kids. And I can bring that up. That's coming off of my phone. And it's as simple as that. If I want to go, for instance, if I go right, here you go, boom. Can you find 6 spiders? You know, then I can go right next to it and go, here are the 6 spiders. You play that. And this is actually one of my Sunday school lessons, and I'm going to get to doing Sunday school in a little bit. But this is just basically using my phone, sending it to OBS, and getting it to show up on my screen. So right now, on my screen, in my scene is for this OBS training. My sources are the background screen, my Focusrite microphone, audio capture if I wanted to use. Matter of fact, I'll show you again how that'll work. Let's do this. If I am speaking here with my microphone, I will mute it. And again, here is my computer microphone. Just so you know that, again, if you're going to try and do this without, upgrading your microphone, it still works fine. It's not. This is not the critical thing to get taken care of, but you see that it does make a difference. So I'm going to switch back. And there we go. So we're back to using the audio microphone, and we're using my computer camera and my iPhone. So, I mean, you see how simple that is. So now I want to start breaking this down for you, how I use it in terms of using it for Sunday school or so. I want to go back. Let me just go back here. I am scrolling through my pages here. Let's see if I can get back here. Hold on a second here. I am going to actually go out of my iPhone. I'm going to show you another one. Go out of my iPhone for a second. And again, I'm juggling a little bit so you guys can see the potential here. And what I want to do is, if I look down here, matter of fact, I am going to go down to my bedtime devos. I'm gonna start off with a second. I'm gonna just show you for a couple seconds. The Devo countdown. Only for a couple seconds, just so you see what I do and what will happen. What's going to happen is how I transition live to our. Let's see. I'm going to actually. You know what? I'm going to go to our. Excuse me for a second. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it. Maximize our hour here. I am going to go to a bedtime countdown, but I'm going to bring it back up in my Sunday school package or Sunday school scene. Okay, guys. Give me about a minute, enjoy the video, and then we'll come back and you'll see. I might, if I get it up and running real quick, I'm going to just be back in a second. So enjoy this. This is, again, what you can do while you're trying to fix things on your end or set things up. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. All right. Okay. So I see a couple things I've got to juggle. And yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on in this screen. So as you can see, I am able to move around a lot of stuff. I don't need my iPhone anymore. So take my iPhone off. That can go away. Now, if I want to, I can bring over. Now, this is going to be the presentation that I want to do. So how do I change that? I need to fix that. You can resize all this stuff. Again, I'm just doing this sort of stuff on the fly for you guys. So give me a couple seconds. I am going to just do this. Hold on a second here. As you see, what's going to happen now is I have to go back in, and these are things that you can do prior to setup, because I was showing you a couple different things. I am going to select. I'm going to select my one screen here, and this is my lesson screen. Okay, my lesson screen is here, and I'm going to go up. I go down, and this is all in OBS. I could go into Edit, and I'm going to see, hey, Steve, you're looking at some of your PowerPoint stuff, and you can capture on your computer. I am capturing right now. I'm capturing my PowerPoint. Yeah, I have. If you were to see my screen, I have Facebook here, my OBS here, and my PowerPoint over here. So everything's kind of rolling into one, and this is, you know, that's how I'm playing it today. So if I go up and I'm seeing that my left-hand side is showing some of my PowerPoint stuff, I can actually go over and let's change that. Let's see if I can get that a little bit better. You see how I'm tightening that up? These are all things you can do prior to, and because I, was getting caught up in making sure you guys were all set. There we go. We'll stick with that, and then I can go to the top. I'm going to do a quick version of that. Let's do that a little bit more. Again, these are all things you would do prior to. The show, and I'm just doing it because as I was juggling things, some things got kind of messed up a bit, so apologies there. As you can see, it's actually a quick fix that I went, and you all of a sudden saw me edit out the size of the screen. So if for some reason you went live and it got messed up, you could go back in, juggle it around. People forgive you for those things. Now what I can do is actually move this wherever I want to move it. I can move that, and I'm going to actually make that bigger for our purposes. Now I want to try and fit it in there a little bit so I can still see the circles from the Gospel Project. This is my Gospel Project Sunday school lesson. I'm going to be doing my bedtime devos with you guys, and we see that stuff going on. And let me just make sure we've got cooking here. All right. So we have that going on. And if I wanted to, I can go through. I went live. The kids just saw the countdown. I'm going, welcome, kids. And right now, all that's on my screen is PowerPoint, computer, camera, background, and I actually threw a title for who I am. If I wanted to, somebody else is going to come on, I can just go in and remove that eyeball. The eyeball says Pastor Steve. Boom, boom. I can take it in and out. So I'll leave it on there for now, and I'm going through it. As I go through, I'm using my keyboard, and I'm just going screen. Let me go back over. I gotta hold on to PowerPoint there. Go screen. Hey kids, we're gonna pray. Okay, let's go over our announcements. All right, and just go through. I'm going through our bedtime devotions. Here's our announcements. Here's game time. Blah 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 blah. Bible verse, guys. We're gonna go over our Bible verse. Here's our Bible verse. I go over it. So as you're seeing, I'm just basically going through story on top of story on top of story on top of story. You seeing how I'm doing that? And I'm going through. I'm just going through. If you use Gospel Project, all you're doing is going to PowerPoint, creating your usual PowerPoint presentation, and just going through it like that. Again, you're just going through all the different things. I'm just flipping through PowerPoint. I'm not doing anything on OBS. OBS is already selected that I'm using PowerPoint. So that is what we're doing here. Now, I have somebody who that I wanted as a guest. And what I can do is, let's see if I can do this easily for you guys. Let me go over here. I am going to take off my PowerPoint. All right. And so you're seeing just me, right? You know, but I want to do, I had somebody come in and they talked a little bit about being special. And so if I go back, let me do this. I'll show you what I did on this one and see if I can make sure I can find it now. PowerPoint. I turned the eyeball back on PowerPoint, and I'm going to go and grab this what makes people special. Watch what I do here. I'm going to bring that down, put that over here. Again, I'm just stretching it using my cursor. I'm just making it bigger, smaller. You're seeing it smaller now. And I'm going to wind up bringing somebody in to do an interview. Hold on just a second. I'm going to take me off of the camera. So the camera's going off. You're still hearing me. I'm going to take away my text as well. My text has gone down. But I have somebody that came on as a guest. Now watch what happens as soon as I click the eyeball for them. Watch.
Hey guys. A lot of you probably know me, but in case you don't, my name's Alyssa.
Now you're seeing somebody, her name's Alyssa, and she is giving part of our Sunday school lesson where she's talking about what makes people special. Again, I've only dropped this into OBS, and I just clicked on it when I wanted it. Now watch what happens if I stop it. She goes away. Now watch what happens when I put it back on.
Hey guys.
She starts back over,
a lot of you
and so
know me,
that's one way of doing that.
My name's Alyssa.
And so
I work at the church
we're just,
help out
you know, as you can see, I can take that back out, and there's a lot of different things I can do. I'm going to go back. I'm going to stretch out my picture here, and let's go back. You want to see my lovely face again? Well, there I am. So this is different ways you can do that. Some of you are looking at the screen. I use Gospel Project, but I don't go to Calvary Chapel. Well, guess what Calvary Chapel is? Calvary Chapel is a logo I dragged and put on there. You don't go to Calvary Chapel? Then don't go to Calvary Chapel. You want to go to Calvary Chapel? Come back to Calvary Chapel. You know, it's the same thing. Okay, you're looking at it and you're seeing, let's see if I can find it here. I like this picture, but we've got Gospel Project. Well, guess what? When you look at the Gospel Project's original picture, they give you, it just says Gospel Project real little. I like people to know that we are teaching from the Gospel Project, so I made the logo bigger. And so I like to have logos to identify things, and hopefully you're seeing what I'm doing here. Now, I'm going to move into a game night for you guys, okay? I'm going to move into a game night. Let's do that. Again, for a game night, I had a countdown video. Now I'm going to be back in just a second. You're going to see a couple seconds of our countdown video for game night. Ready?
Poppers everywhere I look. Poppers everywhere I go. Pops, pops, pop, pop, pops, 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 pop, pop, pops, 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 pop, pop, poppers everywhere I look. Poppers everywhere I go.
All right, so now you're seeing me. You're actually seeing me in my game house here. So hopefully you're enjoying this. This is what my game night looks like. If any of you have joined my game night, I have a fancy background. Again, all that is a looping background, which you can loop in OBS. And I just put it onto my screen. I just dragged it onto my screen, and that's what's looping in the background is that fancy thing. If I would, and you should be hearing some game music. Again, I just took some game show music, threw it in there for the people to listen to while I play. I made the logo myself. How I use the logo is I grabbed that picture from something I had, and I went and used PixLR as Chris had told us to. Remember when Chris gave us that lesson on how to use that website? I used the website and created this picture by being able to take all the background stuff out, and it turned into a PNG file. Drag that right onto the screen, and that's what you got, guys. So if I wanted to, I could take that out. Again, eyeball back on. So if I wanted to take that off, I'll take that sign off, and I'm going to add, matter of fact, again, I'm going to take my camera off. There I am. All right. And I'm going to connect to my iPhone. Now here's my iPhone. My iPhone doesn't look like it's doing too well here. And so I need to make sure that that is up and running. Problem is my NDI stopped for a second because I wasn't really using my iPhone as much. So when I went through PowerPoint, I turned off my NDI on my phone. So we should be good now. As you see, my phone just popped up. We're going to go back here, and guess what? Look at that. Now, isn't that a fun game night? Not really, because it's too small for you to read. I'm going to click on that box, and boom, I'm making it big. Making it big for you guys. So right there, I just dragged my game on there. This is where we left off on our game night for once. I'd go, hey guys, what celebrity would be the coolest to hang around with? And then we would wind up being live about that, and just all the different fun things, people would share and talk about. And so that is, again, something that we were doing for our game night. Our game night, as you saw the picture before, I had that one picture where you were able to see me sitting next to a television monitor trying to show something on my TV, and it was really hard to see. One of the things that started me using OBS was the fact that Chris joined in on our games, and his son was playing a game, and it was a matter of like finding certain colors. Well, on your television and my television, slightly different colors, especially if I'm shooting the television with an iPad, which is what I was doing. It was really, I was going iPad, using my iPad to do Facebook Live, shooting me sitting at a table with a television monitor next to me. And it was just so hard for anybody to really see that Chris goes, hey, you want to learn how to do something really cool? It's not that hard to do. Chris, I don't want to learn something hard. It can't be hard. I'm just a pastor. Can't be hard. Now, I got a tech background, but, I have not been in the tech field for a while. So when Chris told me about it, I was interested. And this is where we're at right now. As you see, we're doing this again. I'm back on my iPhone with this, and I'm just moving my screen over. Who would you give $1 million to, and why? No, you can't keep the $1 million. That's a question I'd ask on our game night. This is one of our grown-up games that we play. And so, again, I am using, if we were to look and break down this scene, I am using my iPhone, my computer camera, a looping background picture, and I have a title that says Your Host, Pastor Steve, and the Calvary Chapel logo. Again, if I wanted to pull the logo off, boom, logo's gone. Okay, I'm putting it back on because I want you to know where I go to church, where I'm a pastor at. But hey, I don't want you to know my name, so I can take that off if I wanted to. So you can do all sorts of stuff. Now, what happens is, on Friday nights, I go between a kid's game and an adult's game, or grown-up's game. And so what would happen, I'm going to do the opposite of this, is I can go and, let me make sure I do this, boom. And we take out my iPhone. Now I would actually do the opposite. Let me just go back and do that again. I'll show you what I do. So I do this. I don't want that game anymore to be played because I'm going to be playing a game with kids. So I go back and I take off my iPhone and I put this up. Now, while you're looking at this and I'm talking to you, I'm easily able to go back while I am talking to you, and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Hey kids, I'm glad that you're here tonight, and we are going to play a new game. And the game is simply called... Let's see here. Okay, boom. This means that. Now, it would have been a little bit smoother on a game night, because again, I'm juggling some things so I can show you what I'm doing. But no, I would be able to switch off just by keeping that up there and having my iPhone off. And then as soon as I take the game sign off, and I have my iPhone come back up, and I move along and play this game. So we're seeing how that's done. What I want to do now is, let me just get back here. And I want to, let's see here. Go back here. And we're going to do a quick review for what's going on here. Hopefully you have been learning a lot of different things about this. This is, again, just a breakdown of what OBS is and what it can do, how you can use it. This is how I use it. Again, we use it at our church for running our Sunday services. Chris, who does our Sunday services with OBS and a couple other tech guys, he will run the pastor live on one side and images on the other side. When we have our praise and worship, he will have the praise and worship singers singing and the words going on OBS up on a screen from another computer. So there's a lot of different ways you can mix and match a bunch of stuff. And for my purposes, I am typically using OBS for streaming my lessons, my live devotional times, and my game shows. And then little side things that I like to do if I want to talk to somebody. Again, like I said, when I do my guitar practice, sometimes I go on with that. And let me just see if I can... Oh, here's one you guys might enjoy. A kid in my Sunday school was having a birthday, so I sent him this card. And so... You can do that. You can say, hey, you know, happy birthday. That, again, just silly things that you can do. It was... that you can do. And I'm just going through... and boom, ba-boom. This is when I did a Star Wars night, and if you move that picture away, I did a Star Wars based night, and this is how that looked. So if I go back beginning, and we are right back to where we originally started. So I'm seeing that we're close to 10 of, and I am hoping to see, I'm seeing a lot of comments. I'm so thrilled that Chris has been able to answer some of those questions. So if you're able to, if you have any questions specifically for me, make sure you shoot me a message or put it on the ministry, our mastering media, our ministry media 101 group page. Thank you guys for joining in. Let me just do a quick review on everything that you saw here. We had opened up with a countdown. Now that countdown I created in a program called Movavi. That is a purchase editing program. Again, you can find timers on YouTube, things that you can use. I know if you use Gospel Project, they give you timers that you can put on the screen. You can do the same exact thing that I had for you guys. Just drag in their own timer. You can do that as well. And you can use the eyeball to turn it on and turn it off. Just so you're aware, when you click the eyeball on, it starts at the beginning. When you click it off, it stops at where it's at. If you were to click it again, it starts from the beginning. That is why, like, if I was to go back to this, it's always going to start at the beginning, which is, it's a 5-minute countdown. So again, you see how that started back? So that's how that happens. And the screen that you're looking at on the side here off to the left, the top screen is what I am doing in my OBS, what I'm trying to show people. So hopefully you saw that some similar things like that when I was going over this today. We had our Sunday school screen off to the one side, me off to the other, talking to the kids. The microphone I keep in that picture for your purposes. Typically, I try and hide the microphone and still talk because, I don't want the microphone in the picture, but I have it in the picture, so for our purposes, you're able to see in all transparency that I am using a microphone today for this project, this module, as opposed to the computer microphone. And then beneath that, we went over scenes. Each thing that we can do is a different scene. I showed you a birthday scene. I showed you my bedtime devotional scene. I showed you my countdown scenes. I showed you just how I laid that out. The scene that this is a scene that you're looking at right now that's called OBS module. So this is the scene that I have for this. So those are the scenes. When you look at the sources, those are the sources that are in the scene. So right now, the scene that you're looking at, the OBS module scene, has a JPEG picture background, a JPEG picture way off to the side there of me giving the module, and the information screens below. That's a JPEG picture, and you are seeing the camera. That's part of the sources, and the microphone is a source, a sound source. So it's the basic layout. Guys, it's not that difficult to do. It's not that hard to figure out. It's something that as we go into an upcoming module, that we will be breaking it down and letting you know how to use it. Now, please, as you're looking at it, I just basically was pulling back the curtain for you guys to see how it is. It is not a difficult thing to do. Pastor Dave and myself, we've only been doing this for maybe a month. I've been doing it a little bit longer than Pastor Dave. Pastor Dave's been picking it up. And we also have had a couple of you that might be viewing. We've talked you through how to load OBS, and you guys have been using it for your church and your ministry. So some of you have been doing that. An upcoming module that we hope to have shortly, soon, maybe even next week, is one about what to download, how to download it, how to load it, and how to start connecting pieces. And then once you have that stuff functioning, you'll be able to come up with your own things. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. Mine doesn't have to look like yours. If you were to look at how Pastor Dave lays his stuff out, it's different than mine. But we're still having it work for our different ministries. So guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this. Do you have any questions? I'm going to scroll through some questions. And while I'm scrolling through some questions, I'm going to let you look at my countdown again, and I'll be back in just a couple seconds while I'm scrolling through some of the comments. All right? Give me a couple seconds here. All right, guys. It looks like. Hold on a second here. I want to see something here. If I'm still good here. Hold on. I want to see something. If this works. And I take out this picture. And let me just see here. As I look at Chris, somebody was asking about the background screen, not this background screen, but the motion one that you saw for the countdown. Again, I used from a different program. It wasn't an expensive program. It was a fairly cheap program in terms of how expensive some of these programs can get. But I'm seeing here, it says that Chris has answered all my questions. So that is a huge blessing. So hopefully we've had a good time doing this. I am so glad that I've had Chris involved. As you see, I'm moving stuff around easily, and you guys are following me. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know. Let us know if this has been helpful for you guys. Let us know also with please let us know if you want the next module about how to do this yourself. Again, it's not that difficult to do. You might feel that it's going to be. It's not that difficult to do. And trust me, I was able to, even with my limited information, get a couple people up and running. Chris was the same way. He's one of the things that we want to do with our modules is to make them simple enough, which is what I think the hardest part for us as trying to do modules is to take something that might be complicated to some and simplify it to make it easy for you guys. We want to make it so it's not so techy. We want to make it so it's not so scary to do. And that is our goal. And again, as Pastor Dave and Pastor Steve, myself, as we appreciate the fact that we've been able to bring Chris on board as our tech guy to help explain to us things that we try and simplify. And when it's something that we don't know if we can simplify, Chris has been willing to come in. I believe that he might have the module about how to set this all up. Fingers crossed, because I don't know if Pastor Dave and I could do it. No, but guys, once you guys get this rolling, it is great. You'll be able to stream live. You'll be able to record things. Again, I go through all these things. I run through a scene and I record my Sunday school material and just go back and forth. I put somebody live. I come up with this. Boom, 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 boom. And then I'm done recording. And I save the recording, and that's what I post to YouTube. I post it to YouTube. So if you want to check out any of my stuff, or you may have seen it, I do post the things in our ministry page just to see how we do our recording. Again, all with OBS. The stuff you saw today is within your grasp. Really, it is. So I have about 4 of, and I'm hoping to see more comments come in. Let us know if you want the next module. Yeah, and we got to persuade Chris, So I think he's like, as long as you and Dave don't do it, I'm good for it. So I want to close out in a word of prayer because, again, guys, for us, it's about ministry. Dave, Chris, and myself, our hearts are for serving you and for serving God and to bring others to the kingdom and to make sure that Christ gets out there. We're going to be having a future module, by the way. We're having a future module that is going to talk about the importance of the word over top of media. Always keep that in mind, that it's the word over top of media. It's always about Jesus. It's not about us. As we said from the very beginning, that we are only a simple frame to the beautiful picture of Christ. So let's close out in a word of prayer, and then I'm going to sign out of here. It will remain posted, and you can keep reviewing this till your heart's content and until you get it. And until next week. All right, guys, let's close in prayer. Dear God, I just want to thank you for this day, and what a great day it was. And I thank you for the abilities that you've given each one of us at this ministry for just mastering Ministry Media 101. And God, I just thank you for the group of us getting together and saying we want to serve other people and other churches to bring them closer to the kingdom of God. So God, I just thank you for each and every person that was viewing this today. And I just pray that we are helping them move to another level so that they can forward your kingdom. God, I thank you again. Keep everybody healthy and safe. And we say this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys, thanks for joining. If you want to review this again, do. And feel free to share it with whoever you want to share it with and say, this is something we want to do. And then we will be back again next week with another module. All right, guys. See ya. God bless.